Hello and welcome to a brand new series on Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. My name is Draconicrose and today we are going to start this series off by creating a new character. I will load appearance data because I have already created my character appearance. I'm going to pick my cat daddy. And here he is. He is a Moon Makode, a slightly older one, named Radu Mikhail. In case you are wondering, we will pick a birth date, though nothing that is affecting the gameplay about that. And we're going to pick Nofika because she is a goddess of moon. So I think that is fitting for a Moon Makode. As for our job, we are going to pick the Conjurer. Conjurers start in Gridania, so I can show you. That's actually Thanalan, but here we go. Here's Gridania and the forest we are going to be starting in. So I think that is good. Let's continue and pick Brynhildr as our starting world because it is one of the ones that is giving XP bonuses. I think this is a measure to balance out the population amongst the servers. So we are going to go ahead and pick it. And finally, we need to name our character. In Final Fantasy XIV, characters have two names, the forename and the surname. The game does use this to refer to your character as their first name or last name in the game, or full, but it is not too important. It's, just your character name. In this case, he already has a name. His name is Radu Mikhail, which is not exactly lore friendly, but not too bad. Yeah, he's happy about existing, so we'll begin a new game with this character.
Here. Here. Feel. Hear, feel, think.
Oi! You alright, lad? You were moaning in your sleep and sweating buckets besides. That'll be the ether, I reckon. Some are more prone to the sickness than others. No need to fret, though. You'll soon get used to it. Feeling better, Kupo? Aha! You can see us! I had a feeling you could, Kupo. We're Muggles, and we live in this wood. Normal folks can't see or hear us, which makes you special, Kupo. And seeing as how you're special, maybe you can tell us something. The wood's been restless of late. Lots of strange things happening. Have you ever have you chanced to witness anything suspicious, Kupo? No, just weird dreams. But of course you haven't. You've only just arrived. Well, there's nothing for it then. We'll just have to keep looking. Nice to meet you, Kupo. The Muggles tell us of something strange happening in the woods, and we've had a rather creepy dream. And now his bottle is empty. As a Muggle drank it. And not everyone can see Muggles. Britannia is still a fair way off, in case you were wondering. Seeing as you're awake, how's about you keep me company till we get there? Them young'uns don't much care for conversation, see. Bremont's the name, and Pedlin's me trade. It looks like we took passage with a traveling peddler, and we're arriving at Gridania with him. As for your good self, judging by your unusual garments, I'd say you were one of them new adventurers. Am I warm? Yep, we are an adventurer. I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory. Now that's what I call living. So long as you can avoid dying, I mean. Ain't no secret that adventuring's a risky business, these days especially. What was it that first attracted you to it? And now we get a choice, one that I do not think has a importance in the story, like at all. So we are going to pick to amass a fortune, though we're not going to the right city for that. Father does look it with like his golden necklace and ring. Fortune, eh? Well, it's a dream we've all had at one time or another. Once you've learned to handle yourself in a fight, you'll want to pay a visit to whichever crafting or gathering guild tickles your fancy. Britannia is renowned for its leatherworkers and carpenters, not to mention its botanists. Adventuring ain't just about killing things, after all. A peaceful pastime may well help you make your fortune. Well, that is true. Just remember, though, there are more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that's a fact. A soldier running in, a rather spooky looking mask, and some few tears. Halt! Go no further. What's this then? Ooh. Ah! Well, the birds don't seem scared. What's going on? A skirmish has broken out up ahead with the XIV. For your own safety, you must remain here until... Well, I think since arrows are reaching us, it's a little bit too late. There's more of them, and that's the XIV. Bloody hells! We shall hold them here. Try to break clear. Looks like they are doing short work of the birdmen. Yes, the XIV look a little lizardy, but they're actually birds. That was too bleeding close. Nice of the XIV to send us a welcoming party, though, eh? Joking Joking aside, this won't be the last time you meet those feathered fiends, so just you take care, alright? By the by, is this your first trip to Gridania? And you're going to say yes. It is our first trip to these lands. It is? Well then, let this journey itinerant tell you the ins and outs of your destination. The city of Gridania lies slap bang in the middle of the Black Shroud, the biggest, lushest forest in all Eorzea. Though it ain't near as lush as it used to be, saying that, not since the Calamity laid half of it to waste. The destruction prompted a herd of new nasties to move in, and gave the Ixal unneeded encouragement. Birdman raids have become a daily occurrence. At long last. Behold Gridania, the forest nation blessed by the elementals.
The Black Shroud, the ancient forest, close to the heart of Eorzea. Beneath the boughs of its towering trees lies the woodland city-state of Gridania. Once a sanctuary from the world beyond the hedge, even the mighty elementals, eternal guardians of the forest, could not forestall the coming of the seventh Umbral era. However, the goddess Nofika was never one to forsake her children, and today she welcomes another brave soul. One who may yet play a telling role in the tale of this great realm.
And here's where we part ways. I'm off to the markets to deliver me wares, then it's back to the high road for me. Here, I want you to have this, by way of thanks for keeping me company. Hey, you never did tell me your name, did you? Well, here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider us square.
May the matron take him to her bosom, that he may never want. And in his heart, sow serenity, purity, and sanctity.
You there! Yes, you. Your face is not known to me. You'll come to the city, no doubt. Yeah, that would be true. I'm Bertinant, a wood whaler of Gridania. It is my duty to protect our nation from her enemies while welcoming those who may yet prove her friends. Let us see which you are. Definitely a friend, though. But with that, we are welcome to Gridania, a vibrant forest nation cradled in the bosom of nature. Now we have to select the control scheme which we'll be using, which is the mouse and keyboard. And it gives us a little tutorial which I am not going to go through. Now before I continue and talk to Bertinant over there, I am going to just change up my control scheme, like here the hotbars and stuff, and I'll be back. And here we are with my UI reset to how I like to have it. Do not worry about these things, I will explain as time goes on, but mostly what I have done is change all the keybinds to my hotbars and added an utility hotbar over here. I also moved the experience over here, the mana and stuff over here, and there's this little bar that is going to be for gear sets that you don't really have to worry about that. So right now we received a thing from our friend Brentband, the silver chocobo feather, which is a common symbol of friendship to the realm and can be exchanged at Calamity Salvagers for good rewards. So we are going to start off by speaking with Bertinant, and we get, of course, the help initiating quests, which is done by right-clicking the NPC with the question mark. To be recognized as an adventurer in the city-state of Gridania, you must first register yourself with the Adventurers Guild, and that is what we will be doing. As you may have noticed, some cutscenes are voice-acted, others are not. I will try not to speak during cutscenes, especially if they're voice-acted, but no promises. Another green adventurer, I presume. I thought as much. We cannot allow strangers to wander Gridania unchecked and untested. Before you rush off and begin pestering every second citizen for work, I suggest you make yourself known at the Carline Canopy. That's the headquarters of the local Adventurers Guild, in case you were wondering. The Carline Canopy is the building you see behind me. Speak to Mother Miyun within and she will take you in hand. Alright, we get our very first quest. You have begun a quest. Use the duty list to help you complete your task. So the duty list is basically our quest log. If I click the objective, I get shown a map where the objective is. If I click the name, I get shown my journal and where the quest is, as well as rewards, a little screenshot that tells us who gave it to us, that's the mood, our objectives, where it is on the map, description, some quests have logs, all that good stuff. But you will see that we have a thing here that says current main scenario quest. And this is the main quest of the story. It is, the journey of the player is through those quests. Under it there is another one, and those are the job quests, or, in more common jargon, the class quests. Those happen every 5 levels, the other ones more or less every 5 levels. It's not that cut and dry. So for now, we are going to head right into the Carline Canopy and talk to Mother Miyun, the Carline Canopy proprietress. It tells us that this symbol means that we can deliver a quest, a normal type quest, by the way. Well, well, what have we here? A wide-eyed and wandering young adventurer, come to put your name down at the guild, I assume. Yes, we are. Though young is not precisely where we are. Welcome. Miyun's the name, or Mother Miyun as most call me, and the Carline Canopy is my place. By the way, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing her name correct. As the head of the Adventurers Guild in Gridania, I have the honor of providing guidance to the fledgling heroes who pass through our gates. No matter your ambitions, the Guild is here to help you attain them. In return, we expect you to fulfill your duties as an adventurer by assisting the people of Gridania. A fine deal, wouldn't you agree? Basically a job. To an outsider's eyes, all may seem well within our nation, but naught could be further from the truth. The people live in a state of constant apprehension. The XIV and various gangs of common bandits provide an unending supply of trouble compounded by the ever-present threat of the Garlean Empire to the south, and that is to say nothing of the calamity. Even now, the wounds have barely begun to heal. Ah, but I speak of it as if you were there. Forgive me. 5 years past, Eorzea was well nigh laid to the waste when the dread worm emerged from within the lesser moon, Dalamud, and rained fire upon the realm. Is this what people call the calamity? Scarcely a square malm of the Twelve's Wood was spared the devastation. Yet despite the forest's extensive wounds, not a soul among us can recall precisely how it all happened. I am well aware of how improbable that must sound to an outsider. It is improbable, but it's also true. For reasons we can ill explain, the facts surrounding the calamity are shrouded in mystery. There are as many versions of events as there are people willing to recount them. Yet, amidst the hazy recollections and conflicting accounts, all agree on one thing, that Eorzea was saved from certain doom by a band of valiant adventurers. Whatever else we've misremembered, none of us have forgotten the heroes who risked life and limb for the sake of the realm. And yet, whenever we try to say their names, the words die upon our lips. And wherever we try to call their faces to mind, we see naught but silhouettes amidst the blinding glare. Thus have these adventurers come to be known as the Warriors of Light. Pray do not feel daunted by the deeds of legends. We do not ask that you become another Warrior of Light, only that you do what you can to assist the people of Gridania. Great or small, every contribution counts. I trust you'll play your part. All that's left, then, is to conclude the business of registration. Here's a quill. Scroll your name right there. Oh, and I would appreciate it if you used your real name. There is a special place in the 7th Hell for those who use amusing aliases. Radu Mikhailon? And you're quite sure that isn't an amusing alias? Oh, that's his name. Very well. From this moment forward, you are a registered adventurer of Gridania, nation blessed of the elementals and the bounty of the Twelve's Wood. The guild expects great things from you. Look at what just arrived, another goddamned adventure. Don't you start with that. Adventurers are the very salt that Gridania needs. The Elder Seedseer herself bade us welcome them with open arms. Do you mean to disregard her will? Of course not. Lest you forget, it is my sworn duty to uphold the peace. Am I to blame if outsiders bring mistrust upon themselves? You, adventurer, mind that you do not cause any trouble here, or I shall personally cast you out of this realm and into the 7th Hell. A warm welcome. Pray that outpost no mind. He meant only to counsel you. Suspicious characters have been prowling the Twelve's Wood of late, you see, and the wood dwellers feel they cannot afford to take any chances. As is often the way with folk who live in isolation, Gridanians are wont to mistrust things they do not well know, your good self included. Fear not, however. Given a catalogue of exemplary deeds and no more than a handful of years, the locals will surely warm to you. Oh boy. On behalf of my fellow citizens, I welcome you to Gridania. May you come to consider our nation as your own in time. Now then, you may depend on old Mother Miyun to teach you a few things that every adventurer should know. And that completes our very first quest to get some experience and our first bout of money. 103 gil. To be precise, this concludes the introductory game tutorial. You have taken the first step as an adventurer in the city of Gridania. Listen well to the wisdom of Mother Miyun, then go forth and discover the incredible adventures that await you. And we level up to level 2. We learn a new action, a spell called Cure, which I will put up to my Control 1 hotkey. And yes, it is a healing spell. So this explains that quests with the meteor around them are main scenario quests. And we learned a few things that are going to be important for the main quests from that beginning, especially the calamity itself. So this is a little bit of legit lore and meta, because when the game first launched, it was not a well-received game. So what the developers did is they rebuilt the game from the ground up, and that rebuild became known as the Calamity. The new game became known as A Realm Reborn, and that reset got implemented into the story of the new game. And that is, I think, one of the best examples of how to reset the game that I've ever heard of. But we will continue talking to Mother Miyun and see what else she has for us. Close to home. More experience, more gil. It says Miyun, proprietress of the Carline Canopy, wants you to perform 3 tasks that will help you learn the fundamentals of adventuring. Let us begin at the beginning, shall we? Now that you are a formal member of the Adventurers Guild, you must be sure you have a firm grasp of the fundamentals of adventuring. To that end, I have 3 tasks I wish you to perform. Your first task is to visit the Aetherite. This massive crystal stands in the middle of the Aetherite Plaza, not far from the Carline Canopy. As a device that enables instantaneous transportation, the Aetherite plays a key role in the life of the ever-wandering adventurer. Once you have located the crystal, all you need to do is touch its surface. A member of the Woodwellers will be present to offer further instruction. For your second task, you are to visit the Conjurers Guild. There is no better place to learn the arts of conjuring. Speak with Madele, and she will explain the benefits of joining the guild. So, if it were any other job, we would be told to go to their guild. That's why what makes you start in what city is your job, because the guilds are spread out through the different main cities. For your third and final task, I would have you visit the markets at the heart of Old Gridania's commercial district. There you shall find weapons, armor, and all the various items that an adventurer might need on his travels. There is, however, more to the markets than buying and selling goods. Speak with Parsmontre and listen well to his counsel. The master merchant can be uncooperative at times, so be sure to offer him one of my famous eel pies. Like so many men, he is much more charitable when his stomach is full. Here, I made a batch not long ago. You have your tasks, Radu. May Nofika guide your path. As you can see, an instance of the game using my character's forename to refer to him in a text dialogue. Ah, and one more thing. Should you happen to come across any citizens in need, don't be afraid to proffer a helping hand. I am certain they will be pleased to meet an adventurer with whom they can confide their woes. Granted, the work they offer is unlikely to be realm-shattering importance, but prove your worth and build a reputation, and in time folk will be more inclined to entrust you with matters of moment. I also suggest that you lend an ear to the smith here in the Canopy. The smiths are trusted representatives of the Adventurers Guild and are an invaluable source of advice for neophyte heroes seeking to attain greatness. And we get the smith waving at us. We nod, we accept our quest, and we are released onto the world once again. I think. Alright, we get 3 active helps, again things that I know and will be describing as we get to them. So let's take Mother Miyun's suggestion and visit the smiths here. So here's the lad that waved to us, and he says, "Greetings, I am one of the smiths, a stoker of fires and forger of futures. As a dedicated member of the Adventurers Guild, I have been entrusted with the task of providing assistance to new adventurers. I see you have but recently taken up the adventurer's mantle. The possibilities stretching out before you must be positively daunting. In the Adventurers Guild, we see new adventurers as fledgling heroes. You are our champions of tomorrow, our nascent stars of limitless potential. My fellow smiths and I are here to provide you with guidance, but the guild also enlists a cadre of veteran adventurers who will be happy to share with you their accumulated wisdom. You can recognize these helpful men and women by their title of mentor." This is a legit title that more experienced players can have. That gives them a little crown next to their name and allows them to gain a few extra bonuses when helping newbie players. I don't know too much about that system, I'm not far enough along to play with it, but here is a Sprout. Sprout is a new player or a new character. If I showed you my own name, I would have a Sprout next to it as well. Mentors stand ready to advise you on any aspect of adventuring. They have hundreds of quests under their belts and will likely have a solution for whatever dilemma might be causing you trouble. A mentor may even offer to accompany you on your adventures. I highly recommend that you take advantage of a mentor's aid to enrich your experiences in Eorzea. Pray do not hesitate to ask me if you would like to know more. The new adventurer status is applied to all players who have recently begun their adventures in Eorzea. Amongst the Eorzea's thriving population, there are seasoned players known as mentors who have taken it upon themselves to assist these new adventurers. When a new adventurer and a mentor form a party, they both receive a bonus to experience points earned. Upon invitation by a mentor, new adventurers also gain access to the Novice Network, an exclusive chat channel where they can consult with mentors and share their experiences with other beginning players. We will not be doing that. And for now, we won't be asking him any more questions. Later on, he will have a series of quests for us that will teach us how to be a healer. For now, we will continue on. You can see on the minimap that there is a waypoint telling us that our quest close to home is close by in this direction. So our first task is to attune with the Aetherite. You can see we attune. It has a nice little animation where we meld our ether to it. I don't know. Greetings, adventurer. I see you are faithfully following Mother Miyun's instructions. By someone named Nisha. She is from the Woodwellers. Allow me to offer you a bit of instruction myself. I am Nisha of the Woodwellers, and I know a thing or two about the Aetherite. Yes, that big crystal right there. Aetherites are devices that tap into ethereal energies and are primarily used as a means to travel swiftly from one place to another. Return and teleport, the most common transportation spells. I won't say teletransportation, but just transportation. Make direct use of the Aetherites and their connection to the flow of ether. And as these devices are found in almost every corner of Eorzea, any adventurer worthy of the name will wish to seek out and attune himself to each one. Truly, few things in this world are so useful to an intrepid explorer. But you need not locate them all at once. Before rushing out into the wilds, I suggest you start with the Aetherites found here in Gridania. Should you wish to learn more about the Aetherite or transportation magic, I am here to answer your questions. Return learned. You attune with the Aetherite. You are now able to use the return spell. And those are these spells. We are going to set this Aetherite as our home point, which it already is. So when we use this spell, it says return to New Gridania, which will return us right here to a random spot around this Aetherite. So very useful, and it is the fast traveling method in this MMO. Other than setting it as a home point, we are also going to register it as a favorite destination. Favorite destinations, once we can teleport, cost less to travel to than other destinations, so it's always useful to have them as one. So next we want to visit the Conjurer's Guild, and since we don't have the miniature Aetherites unlocked, we are going to have to book it. Which brings me to the spell. This is Sprint, and it's just a movement speed spell. Once I pop it, my character starts sprinting, 20 seconds out of combat, 10 in combat. Very useful for moving around and for getting places quick. Especially if the place you want to get to is out of an AoE. This is an Aethernet shard. It works much like the big ones, but only within the city. So you can only use these by approaching another one and selecting that one. You now have access to the Aethernet. Quick travel to the city can be achieved by simply placing your hand upon the Aethernet shards. And we get a small help for the Aethernet. Let us continue inside here, because this is the Conjurer's Guild. It's a cave, big cave, deep within Gridania's bowels. Lots of water, lots of earth, lots of glowy things. And here is our guildmaster, Isumiyan. But we're not going to talk to him right now. We, as you remember, were told to talk to Madel, the guild receptionist. You seek the secrets of conjury, adventurer, then search no longer, for you have found your way to the Conjurer's Guild. It is at Miyun's request that you have come? Then allow me to provide you with an overview of what it is to be a conjurer. Conjury is the art of healing and purification. Its practitioners harness the power of nature that they might bring about change in the form of spells. Primitive magic such as that once wrought by individuals known as mages, meaning those with the ability to manipulate ether, has existed since the dawn of time. It was not until some 5 centuries ago that conjury emerged from this shapeless agglomeration of spells and charms, an event which led to the founding of Gridania. In those dark days, the elementals would not suffer man's presence in the Twelveswood, forcing our forebears to make their homes beneath the earth in the great subterranean city of Gelmora. But their desire to settle in the Twelveswood continued to burn fiercely. Time and again they sought to curry the elementals' favor. Unlike men and other creatures bound in temples of flesh, the elementals are beings of pure ether. Recognizing this, the mages of Eld reasoned that their talent for etheric manipulation might allow them to commune with those theretofore enigmatic entities. It took 5 long decades, but our forebears finally succeeded. Their reward, the elementals' permission to dwell in the Twelveswood. So it was that the nation of Gridania was born. Since that time, the elementals have taught us to live as one with nature, speaking to all Gridanians to the hearers, those mages who are able to commune with them. And for their intimacy with the elementals, the hearers would go on to attain greater mastery over the forces of nature. Thus did they conceive the art of conjuring. I hope this has helped you gain a greater understanding of the Conjurer's Guild. Should you wish to delve further into the mysteries of conjuring, then I urge you to consider joining our ranks. I can begin your initiation whenever you decide. Call upon me when you are ready to take the first step. We are, of course, ready to take our first step to becoming a real conjurer, registered with the Conjurer's Guild and everything. But first, I want to talk about this icon. These quests with the blue icon and the plus sign are quests that unlock content, unlike the normal quests like this one, which are just side quests that give you rewards that you might want. So for now we are going to take Madel's quest and join the Conjurer's Guild. Is your mind made up? Are you ready to join the Conjurer's Guild? Madel wishes you to reaffirm your desire to join the Conjurer's Guild, in which we'll get some experience and some raisins and a picture of our guildmaster. So we will accept, and she says, "That is well. I shall introduce you to our guildmaster, Brother Isumiyan. Brother Isumiyan presides over the Conjurers Guild even as he serves the nation as a hearer. You'll find him in the meditation area within. Go to him and make known your desire to join the guild. Now, Isumiyan is a rather interesting character. He has a few quote-unquote siblings, and they all have those horns and flat ears. Well, except Kane-sen, I think. So it isn't clear to me whether they're a separate race or they just become like that once they become hearers, but he is one of them. He is at most a teenager, but he already is filling in some big shoes. Greetings, adventurer. I am told you wish to become a conjurer of Steelblade fame. I am Brother Isumiyan, master of this guild. Before you are formally accepted into our ranks, I would impart to you the principles of conjuring. Pray attend me well. Conjuring is an arcane art that takes life and the living for its domain. Its primary purpose is the salving of hurts and the granting of protection. Adventurers such as yourself often stand upon the front lines of battle. Owing to this, you are like to find yourself in many situations wherein a capacity for healing would be advantageous. Mind you, there is more to conjuring than that. By harnessing the power of earth, wind, and water, conjurers are also capable of weaving spells that wreak havoc. In terms of sheer destructive power, conjuring may pale in comparison to thaumaturgy, but its capacity to defend one against aggression more than compensates for its relative shortcoming. In mastering healing and purification, not only will you be able to mend wounds and purge afflictions, you will also be able to breathe life back into the fallen. More than simply healers, yet not true dealers of destruction, conjurers realize their full potential when they employ their powers in support of others. This, my dear adventurer, is what it means to be one of us. Mayhap that was too much to grasp upon a single hearing, but worry not, for the meaning of my words will become clear to you in due time. Aye, you'll come to understand that conjuring is not the sole province of the conjurer. Should you wish to walk our path, I must needs ask that you solemnly vow to embrace nature, to heed the will of the elementals and the 12s wood alike. Can you make this vow? Do you vow to embrace nature? Yes, we vow to embrace nature. I knew your answer ere your lips had parted, yet I am no less pleased to hear it. By the power vested in me, I hereby name you a member of the Conjurers Guild. And so to work. Listen well now, for I would assign you your first task as a conjurer of Steelblade fame. Just beyond the city gates, you will encounter squirrels, ladybugs, and pungwars. I would have you slay 3 of each. Lest you wonder how I can so coolly order the taking of life, know that things are not as they once were. As a consequence of the calamity, and I may add through no fault of their own, these creatures have become a burden to the 12wood, a burden it cannot well bear. As a conjurer, it is your duty to carry out the will of the forest, and by employing your powers in so doing, you will come to learn something of your art. Go now, Radu, and perform your first task in the name of the elementals. We nod, and we have our first combat task. So, for now, we will be continuing the quest close to home rather than the way of the conjurer, because, well, it's closer by, it's still in the city, it's right here. So we are going to leave Nofika's altar, and I actually had forgotten that Nofika is the patron of conjurers. So that was actually a well-chosen cause on my part. So we will continue, have these little signs that tell us what's upcoming. So we have the markets, Leatherworkers Guild, stuff like that. We could take a few more quests on the way, but I would rather not. Here is a little shop, which is also not our objective. we are instead coming to the Aetherite shard over here and attuning to it. After attuning to this one, I can actually show you the Aethernet. When we select the Aethernet shard, we get our current location and a destination to select. We only know the Aetherite Plaza, which is the one with the big Aetherite, at the Conjurer's Guild. For now. Eventually we will have more within the city. And while we're here, and I am looking at the delivery Moogle, where all these players are, you can tell I have a new letter. So we are going to go to the delivery Moogle who says, "Greetings, Tall One, I'm a delivery Moogle, Kupo." Oh, I know what you're thinking. Moogles are supposed to hide in trees and avoid contact with outsiders. Why ever would they agree to carry about letters? Why, indeed, if I had my way, I'd be curled up under the canopy of a nice oak, dreaming about some beautiful Mooglet with a rainbow-colored pom-pom, Kupo. But no, the moon had to go and drop from the sky, causing all of that terrible commotion. Aetherites were scattered and link pearls rendered useless. For moons, the poor wingless people of Eorzea had no way of communicating with each other, beyond screaming at the top of their lungs, which no one really approved of, Kupo. That is, until the little horned ones asked us to assist them by delivering messages. You may notice little horned ones, like Brother Isumiyan. At first, we were wary of showing ourselves, worried that one of us might catch and skin us. Well, one of you might catch and skin us, like you do every other forest furry. But once we saw how much we were appreciated, we knew we'd found our new calling. And I personally promised to try not to read any along the way, Kupo. Look what we have here, a new letter has arrived just for you, Kupo. So we get a little explanation of the Moogle delivery service, but what I do have here is a letter sent to me by the Final Fantasy dev team, which is an automatic message with my reward for subscribing for 60 days, which are the Cloud Strife gears. So we get a bunch of new help messages. In our case, where did they go? Right. So there is a thing called the armory chest, which the help did tell us about, which is where gear will go. And if I open my character panel and use recommended gear, I do get the Ring of Fortune as a recommended gear, but I could equip the stripe stuff, and I will just, for demonstration purposes, there we go. So that is Cloud Strife's gear, but we will equip our adventurer stuff instead, and we are going to remove the stripe stuff from here. We will be using them to demonstrate the Glaber system later. So I am also going to go into my, not this one, the character settings. Yeah, I always think this is under character for some reason. Because under item settings I want to disable this. Store all newly obtained items in the armory chest. Now the armory chest has a limited space, and every gear you get, whether you can equip it or not, goes in there, and soon it becomes just a mess. You realize like what will you use, what will you not. So the idea is all gear is going to come into my inventory, and I can sort it so that the gear stays first. And as I get upgrades, I'll manually replace them and only keep the ones I actually want to keep. So let us continue on past the Leatherworkers Guild and to the market over there. We will grab the Aethernet shard to the marketplace. It's actually called the Leatherworkers Guild Aethernet shard, but you know, when you want to come to the marketplace, that's the one you will use. And you saw that Rothgar that just teleported into us. We have a bunch of NPCs that we can't really do anything with, and here's Pars Montret whom we need to speak to. By what right does a fledgling adventurer presume to address Parsimon, master of the market? You think you can stroll in here, bold as you please, and demand my hard-earned knowledge? Ha! A merchant does not for naught, especially when dealing with would-be heroes. If, on the other hand, you had some tasty morsel to curry my favor, then I might reconsider your request. Come now, this whole encounter reeks of Mioun's handiwork, and more specifically her baking. Don't look so surprised, son. I smell that eel pie of yours a mile away. Hand it over. And it gives us a new tutorial handing over items where we can right-click hand over or just drag the pie in and select hand over to give it to him. That flaky crust, just a vibe. Very well, I am a man of my word. Pay close attention, for I shall only explain this once. The aspiring adventurer need look no further than the rosewood and ebony stalls. Both are but a short stroll from where we stand. If you mean to do battle, you'd best be prepared with a quality set of weapons and armor. Such goods are the province of the rosewood stalls directly south of here. You'll be pleased to learn that the merchants of Britannia are exceedingly particular when it comes to craftsmanship, so you needn't fear defective straps and the like. If it is potions and paraphernalia you seek, head north to the ebony stalls. The shelves there are lavishly stocked by wildly traveled Ul'dan merchants, and I may truly say that I have seen things amongst their myriad wares that I scarce knew existed. Do you follow me thus far? The first step in any purchase is to select the stalls that meet your needs. Then you may concern yourself with price and profit. There is little more I can teach you with mere words. Go, peruse the stalls, and see for yourself what wares they offer. There is no substitute for first-hand experience, after all, and I am weary of talking. Unless you have another eel pie? No, I do not have another eel pie. He does have a quest for us, but we are not going at this moment. So, like he said, over here we get all of our gear needs. Battlecraft tools, that's for crafters. Materia Melder, that's this game's version of enchanting gear. And jewelry, which is the accessories and stuff. We are also not going to be taking those. Instead, we are going to go back to Mioun at the Carline Canopy. And turns out these quests make a nice little circle around the town, bringing us right back to Gatorite Plaza and a short run away from the Carline Canopy. Now we go in and talk about our Mioun again. The conquering hero returns. You have completed my little tasks, I trust. The 3 locations you visited will feature prominently in your life as an adventurer. It is best you grow familiar with them as soon as possible. And you took the time to listen to the woes of the citizenry? I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to lend your talents to one and all, no matter how trivial the matter may seem. I am thankful that you are an obliging sort, rather. It is adventurers like you who will win the hearts of the locals and pave the way for those who follow. I pray Gridania can rely on your aid in its struggles to come. And we get our guild, our experience, and the quest complete. That brings us also to level 3, and you can see that Mother Mioun has a main quest for us, but it is locked. And if I talk to her, this quest is not yet available. It's for all classes and jobs, excluding limited jobs, that is the Blue Mage. But you need to be level 4, which is why, we are going to wait up. However, that is all the time I have for this episode, so I'm going to sit down over here. And thank you for watching. Next episode we are going to Go slay some stuff and learn the way of the Conjurer, as well as continue our main story quest with Radu over here. If you enjoyed the episode, do click the subscribe button so that you don't miss any more. Leave a like on the video to tell the YouTube algorithm that you liked it, and visit my Patreon page if you would like to support me further. Until next time, here, may there be dragons.